Welcome to Founders Focus. Today, this is recorded. I'm at the Abundance 360 meeting. It's in Beverly Hills, California. And this is my second year going there, and they invite 360 people who are thinking a lot about the future. And there's people that are experts in artificial intelligence, human longevity, things that are coming in the future. So I'm learning about that to kind of see what's coming down the road. So this is going to be a great meeting. I want to talk about our operating system outside of our Allure operating system, where we use our 7 switches to track patients through, and we have ways we greet the patient, and we don't always do them perfectly, but we're always working to improve them. But we're using an operating system that allows us to communicate from the front lines to me really. I don't want to have several layers between what I'm thinking, where we're going, and the change we're making in the company to get it executed. In the past, when this company was smaller, we could just talk about it and we understood. But in a growth company, particularly a visionary growth company, there's got to be a clear line of communication. And I want those lines to be as clear as possible and as direct as possible. And we screwed up real big time. So we had the Wednesday all office a day of learning about WIGs. And it was great for people that were in Michigan. And if you weren't in Michigan, it sucked. And I get that. I'm really sorry about that. It's like torture for a few hours and your internet wasn't working. In reality, technology is not caught up to really make this possible. So I'm talking about what we're going to do in the future, starting like now, versus what we're doing in the past. So we have a series of meeting rhythms, and we use a principle that we got from scaling up. There's a few operating systems that people use to run their business, and large companies like ours are frequently use something called scaling up. So you can read the book Scaling Up. We have plenty of copies. You can get one if you want to. Or you can just buy it and we'll reimburse you for it. And there's a few basic principles for the connected organism, which is our company, to communicate. So one is the daily huddle. In the daily huddle, we're getting better at it all the time, and now we're doing an initiative where we're really going to fine-tune the daily huddle this first quarter. But there's really 3 things in a daily huddle to discuss, and it should be, not a lot of people, maximum 1 minute per person. If you have 15 people, you probably need to break it up into 2 different groups. But there's 3 things. One is, what's up? What's up for today? It might be that there's somebody called in sick. It might be that your schedule's pretty heavy. It might be that you have some special clients coming in. What are the metrics? And the metrics we're struggling with, because it's not clear what they are, it depends really on the department. So when I'm going to the huddle in Shelby, Dr. Atanosovsky runs the meeting, and she talks about what we call flips. And flips are people who were dermatology that flipped into other services, or patients that were veins that flipped into dermatology. Another office might not have any other services. So what's up might be, how good are you getting same-day mappings done? Following your WIG numbers. What are the metrics? And the other thing are stucks. What's in the way? What are the obstructions? So if a stuck is, in a big office like Shelby, you might have a provider that's had to fill in somewhere else, and we're going to rearrange people. Another office might be having a snowstorm, or might be having a inability to get people out of the lobby fast enough. And then at that time, you can discuss how you can just identify the stucks, but then take it offline, how you're going to help each other fix it. Those things happen in your daily huddle. And that's how you communicate to your team what's going on for the day. Then we have weekly meetings, and we use the execution part of scaling up, which is we use the 4DX, which is the WIG process. And that is our WIG meeting, which might be combined with other things that we're going to deal with in the company. So you might have your WIG meeting and talk about some other things on a weekly basis. It'd be an opportunity for you to invite people from other offices to contribute. So the weekly meeting. And then most companies go either to a monthly or quarterly all-office meeting, month or quarter. Now, I've studied other businesses to see how it's done, and there's no perfect example. But the more people we involve, the better it is, because you hear right from firsthand where we're going, what's happening, and there's a couple ways to handle it. Either we could fly everybody to one location, which is possible, might do that at some point, or we could just do it multiple times. I think that's what we're going to do now. So in the future, when you have your offsite meeting, which might be in 2 months from now, or 3 months from now, we'll do it in many different locations. In some cases, a newer office that's smaller might fly them in somewhere, but it's going to be no more Zoom all office meetings. It sucks. I get it. Done. The other thing that's going to change is our weekly huddle that we do on Tuesday mornings sucks. We started doing this because we had one office in Michigan, then we had two, and then we had five, and all of a sudden with 5 offices, and things weren't getting done. There was all this confusion. So we started doing a weekly huddle where we'd all zone in, and somebody in Warren office could say, hey, look, we're shorthanded here, and somebody in another office in Southgate could say, well, I'll be there in about an hour, I'll drive there. And they'd discuss different issues that are coming up. That was really healthy. We might see certain regions now that are in the same situation where they're an hour apart, they should have their own meeting together. But really when I listen to the meetings on Tuesday, it's really dominated by the Shelby Township office. It's dominated by the Michigan office. It's dominated, like the marketing and everybody else is really kind of thinking about their own location, because headquarters is here. So we're going to split that out, and Nancy will explain to you about it later, but we're going to make the weekly huddles for regions that will have somebody participating with you. And we're going to take away the barrier of transportation. We can get people down to your office or up to your office or over to your office whenever needed, and no more of the Zoom, except for somebody zooming into a bigger meeting. Like it might be, this morning I was in a marketing meeting and somebody from Florida zoomed into it. That was really healthy. But if we were having a all office meeting, we're flying somebody there or you here. So thank you very much.